Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much again for tuning in today's video. Today is going to be a busy day of harvesting. Before we get into starting harvest, we're going to go up to the building site. We're going to get a quick update on how things are going up there. We're up at our building site, and right now what's going on is getting everything ready to go to pour concrete. So they're going to lay all the rebar, do all that stuff, and they're going to be working today and they're going to be working tomorrow, which today is Friday, and then they're going to work Saturday. And I think the plan is we're going to pour next week sometime. I'm not sure exactly when.
What this is the pump out. So when we go to get manure out of these buildings, there's 4 pump outs down each side that we set our pump in, that we draw the manure out that goes onto the field. When they dig these, the middle of this pump out, watch out knucklehead, the floor of the sump is lower than the floor of the pit. So when you get down to the end, you can get this pit down as low as possible. The manure is going to run off into these sumps. And I mean, you're not going to get 100%, but you're going to get it more than if you poured this flat. The sump is 6 inches lower than the floor. When he came in, Tracy tiled it. Tracy. Oh, that's great that she went there, because there's only 2 things that are going to happen. They've got bar over there. You can see the bar, and it's all pre-bent for this box. These are 6 foot by 6 foot, and then the rebar ties in and goes up. This, where they're digging out all the way around, that's the footing. The floor of the pit is thicker around the outside because you're gonna set your forms on top of it that are the walls that go up. And then the same way, all of these are where columns are gonna be. On the top is where the beams set that carry the weight of the slats. So when this is all done, there'll be a column every 10 feet, be a column, and then there'll be beams, and the beams will run all the way to the end. So there'll be a row and a row and a row, and then your slats will sit on those beams across like this. So when they're done, when you look at this floor, it's gonna look flat. You're not gonna see any of this because it's all on the bottom side. So the whole floor is gonna look the same, but any place that they need reinforcement, they dig it out on the front end, and that area of the pit is going to be thicker. Oh, one more thing. Right here, this is where the center divider wall of the building is going to be. So they'll dig this down just like around the outside. And this footing carries a 10-inch wall that goes up the middle, because this building has a center wall that goes up, and then the trusses are 2 pieces. And the trusses come up, and the peak of the truss is sitting on top of this wall, and that carries the weight. So they've got to do that yet. And then get bar laid and be ready to pour.
So while all that work's going on at the building site, we're gonna go ahead and start picking some corn. David's on his way with the combine right now as we speak. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take the wagons up, set them at our north cornfield, so that way they're all ready to go for him to start picking, and he can just start dumping on the wagons when he gets here. Damn, look at the hood of that tractor, clean as a whistle. We did a really bad job of putting that into our harvest preparations. We kind of forgot about that step. Looks aren't everything, guys. Looks aren't everything. As long as she's gonna run, everything will be all right.
Hey, always something comes up you don't think about. I'm headed up to the building site. Things got a little rutted up, so I'm breaking out the old school. I got the Harrigator. I drug it out of the weeds. I don't know how the tires are holding air. They are high quality, but as long as it'll get me there, we'll worry about keeping air in them later, but they aired up anyway. So I'm gonna go spread a little gravel and knock the ruts down around the building site.
Look who it is. It's about that time, baby. It's about that time. What a beauty. Nothing runs like a deer, baby. One thing you should really check before you just drop a wagon off, gotta make sure that door's shut, because it's a bad day if the door's open and they unload on you and then all the corn leaks onto the ground. Not a fun job. Not like I've ever done that or anything. Dave got all hooked up. We're starting to pick the end rows off of this north cornfield. Our plan today is to fill up our drying bin. We're gonna put about 4,000 bushels in there, and we're gonna do this north cornfield. That way we can get all the corn kind of picked and out of the way of the hog building site. We don't want any more corn bars to get ran over by any workers, so we just think it's a good idea to get all that picked. We're really just gonna pick this corn today to test it out, see how the moisture is, all that good stuff. Are you excited for Harvest 2020?
I'm excited, but I don't know what it's gonna be. I've heard a lot of horror stories in our neighborhood about bad stocks, bad test weight, bad yield. We've got pretty good fertility and we've got hog manure, and this is corn on bean ground. If this is decent, I'll feel better, but if this is bad, then I'm gonna really dread going across the road to the corn on corn ground. So we'll see. It is what it is.
This will be his second dump on this wagon, and that will make it a full wagon. So when he's done unloading this, I'm gonna go load her up into the bin. One load down, another 75 to 99 more loads to go.
Well, nothing ever works quite like you think it should. So, I got my first flat tire of the day. Fortunately, it wasn't completely flat. We're just gonna put a little air in it. That ought to get us by for today. Tomorrow morning, we'll take it off and take it in and get it fixed. I'm pretty sure this tire, I think I fixed last year. I think I fix this tire every year on this wagon. I should just sell this wagon.
I'm at the hog building site. We're gonna give a little update on how these guys are coming along as far as laying rebar. Just started laying rebar, and they're laying rebar from this side and working their way down. These guys are experts at laying rebar. They've done this probably 100 times, and you have to be an expert at it. When it comes to rebar for hog buildings, you have to do it a certain way. The DNR requires you to do it a certain way, or else you can't build one. It all depends on the spacing of your rebar, how big the bar is, how long the bar is, all that stuff. These guys know exactly what they're doing, and they know how to be DNR approved. Pretty cool to see the progress so far. I'm very, very happy with how everything is going. We had a little bit of delay in there with the rain, but it was only a week and you can only do so much, but we're back on track now and the weather seems to be good for a while. So when this concrete gets started, that'll be like the first major step of this building structure actually coming to life, which will be really cool to see. Happy that we finally got a start on the building. Can't wait to show you guys the rest.
Well, I might have sent her a little too hard, bud. I was messing around and I got a phone call and I wasn't paying attention. I went to throttle back the dump on the wagon. The pin sheared, so that's not supposed to look like that. The auger's full of corn. We'll replace the bolt, but it's always a booger to try to restart it without shearing the bolt again because everything's full and it's a lot of drag to get it started. So we'll see how we get along. That was painless enough. 1 5/16 bolt is what holds those two pieces together. And it does what it's supposed to, because what it's supposed to do is if anything catches or breaks or binds, it's supposed to break the bolt. So it did what it was supposed to, but now then, we're gonna have to see whether or not we can get this thing to start. Fingers crossed. There we go. So we did about 14 acres today. It's making right about 200 bushel an acre, which I'm thrilled. I think 202 was the field average for those 14 acres. Started out at 22% moisture, and then we took the ends off on the north side and it was hitting 27, so we stopped. We really just wanted to get that patch out around the building site and run some through the dryer, make sure everything's gonna work. So if this is the worst thing that happened today, which as of right now it's about 6 o'clock, I think it is the worst thing, this isn't even that bad, because you know who I'm gonna get to clean this up? Sawyer. I'm gonna find something to do. I don't know what, but you can bet your ass that it ain't gonna be scooping this up, so I'll leave that for him. So really, it's actually not that bad. I'm gonna finish unloading these loads and call it quits for the night.